Today, let me load up the session. I just want you to see a rough. Like this is I wanted to just tap in like so that people can like create random abstract scenes with random items and stuff like that, just so like that they can have like scenery for the beast, like just not the plain backgrounds and stuff like that. This is something that's gonna be fairly easy, and everything that I'm using here is like free. Like if I use Blender Kit, that's something that's free. Is I'm not gonna use any paid add-ons or anything like that. Anybody can do this. Let me see. Let this load up 1 second. Give me 1 second. So something similar to what you see on the screen right now. Like this is just a few objects thrown together randomly on Blender just to create a scene. And then you can see my character in the back. It's very small, but that's how I envisioned it for this right here. Second. Yeah, you see my guy, he's over here chilling in the cut, but let's figure something out right now. Let's get something new. All right, let's get it. Fresh from jump, I'm gonna delete everything in here. I'm gonna just delete the square, the camera, everything. I'm gonna leave the light there for reference, but I'm gonna press the number 1 on the keypad just to have it oh, hold on. Make status rugged. Should I lower the quality of my stream?
I can see it fine.
All right, let's get it. All right, so the idea, the goal that I'm trying to achieve right now is just like adding some random scenery. I'm gonna go ahead and just go completely random with it. You guys do not need to use the objects that I'm using or the setup that I'm using, but this is just like a rough to like how to get something across. I'm gonna add a plane. I'm gonna hold Shift and press A on my keyboard to bring this little menu up, the add menu, and I'm gonna add a plane. I'm gonna make this a little bigger. Sorry, hold on, let me back that up. All right, I'm gonna press S to scale, and I'm gonna make that bigger with just dragging it across. I'm gonna just make it roughly like this. Then let's just add it. All right, so let's just start here. I'm gonna subdivide this so that I can have like a few broken up vertices instead of just having like one solid block. I'm gonna keep that there like that. Let's just keep this there for now. Y'all going crazy in the chat right now. All right, now let me add a camera. I'm gonna hold Shift and press A. I'm gonna add a camera just to get like a rough overview of what like where I wanted to kind of. So the view that I'm in right now, I kind of want the camera to have like this front forward facing view. So I'm gonna hold like while I have the camera, I'm gonna go over here and go to, I think it's in view, align view, and then yeah, align active camera to view. So we have it there where the view is at. And then now that I see that this is gonna be our view, I'm gonna scale the plane a little bit bigger just to cover the front area more or less. Again, to scale, I'm pressing the letter S to scale. Like that's the shortcut for scaling. And then once you press the S, you can just like hover up or down and it'll change the sizing of whatever you're holding. Let's leave this right here for now. And all right, cool. Let's add a mesh cube. I'm just gonna place this cube somewhere random. To move this, you can use this cursor thing over here for moving, or this thing over here, the moving thing right here, and you can just move it like this, or you can press the letter G, and that's the shortcut for moving, and you can just like freely move it wherever you want. You can move it along the X axis by pressing X, the Z axis by pressing Z, or Y pressing Y. I'm just gonna randomly place these anywhere. I'm gonna duplicate it, Shift D, holding Shift and you press D, it duplicates. And I'm gonna move it over here on this side. Let's add some more. You know what, before we add some more, let me scale this so it could be a little different. Move that up, sorry. Let's add some more of these. I'm gonna duplicate it, make it scale it up and move it a little bit to the back of it. Like even with these three right here, let's say right now, I'm gonna click on any one of these and press R to rotate it. I'm gonna freely rotate this one over here like this. Then this one, I'm gonna freely rotate back a little bit. This one, I'll freely rotate. Anyway, you can, this process, you can do it however it meets the eye. There's no right, no wrong. It's just whatever you see in your head. I'll leave that there just to create some like spacing between the buildings or whatever. I'm already imagining this like if it was buildings. And then this like sand or dirt or whatever in the bottom. So this is where Blender Kit comes in handy, super handy. I'm gonna go into the viewport and put it like on, what's this mode called? On the material preview. And while I'm holding any one, all right, let's start with the sand. I clicked on the plane on the bottom, and while it's selected, I'm gonna go up here and find the material on Blender Kit. I'm gonna type in sand, see what comes up. And now a whole lot of these textures come up. You can use any one that you like. I'm just gonna click a random one. I'll click on this one. Let's see. Iron Wolf, it is being recorded. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat and I'll try to check. And if not, once we're done with it, I'll just run back and you guys want. It doesn't bother me. So I added a sand texture to this one, and it's not perfect, but I'm gonna leave it like this for now, just so I can get like a rough idea. Let me see how it's looking. Okay, so now you can start seeing already, like with the one light up top, this is how it's already starting to look with the sand texture on the bottom. Let's go ahead and add some things, like some textures to these. I'm envisioning this like if it was buildings. So I'm gonna, while I'm selected on that object, I'm gonna go back to the Blender Kit thing up here, and instead of sand, I'm gonna type in building or windows or anything, like anything that you can envision those walls to be. Then you can just type it in. Look, this looks cool. Building facade. Let's see. This is cool. I'll leave that for now. Then you can use different ones for this. Like let me pick a different one for each one. Let's see. I'll fix that up right now on the shading. One more. All right, cool. Like the textures, they're not gonna be perfect from Blender Kit, but then you have a lot of options with the Blender Kit textures. If you go to shading up here, on the tab up here on top of the screen, then you can see that when you select the object, each one has like these geometry nodes associated to the texture. And they have this thing on the side that it's like a scaling thing. It's over here all the way on the left. So you can see like this selected building that I have right here. If I start playing around with scale, you can see that I can kind of like achieve the look that I want. It's just, you gotta like literally play with it a lot. I'll leave that one like that. Let's play with this one. Scale 0.5, I want to way smaller. Let's see, 1. I'm just changing the scale of the texture so that it can like wrap around the object a little more correctly. I'll play with that one, I could do that. This one, let's put this up to 5 maybe. Scale 5, location on the Z. I'm just trying to find like somewhere that, okay, that works. And then this over here, let's just randomize it as well. 1 second. All right, cool, that's cool. So now this is like a rough of those buildings or whatever. And then now this is like when it's, oh, hold on, before I add any other objects, this sand plane right here, the reason why I added subdivision is because now you can take each one of these verts. Sorry, I went into edit mode. I pressed tab to go into edit mode. And then once inside edit mode, you can take each one of these verts and like the same exact way with any object, you can press G to move and you can move them. And now that sand will have like a nice structure to it around the object that you're trying, you know, like those buildings that we just put in, or it doesn't necessarily just have to be like, you know, like straight across sand. It could like little mountains of it and stuff like that. Like it creates a nice little bump and texture for the final image and stuff. Let's just create a few of these little mountain areas. And then another thing is that while you're doing this, if you press the letter O it's gonna enable this up here, proportional editing. And now when you lift one of these vertices, it's gonna, the ones that are linked around it, look what happens. Now it's not only that one vert that moves, you can make this bigger or smaller by scrolling your mouse wheel on Windows or just going up or down on Mac. And it'll bring that chunk up as one instead of just that one single vert like this. You can start like playing around with like just, you know, like just like creating elevation in the texture and stuff like that. And you can do this for anything. You can do this on clothing, on anything. So that's pretty cool. Then, all right, we got this right now. So let me just bring in a beast so that we have something as reference. I'm gonna import a random beast. 1 second. Before I bring in the beast, okay, cool. So this little circle here, I forgot what it's called, the cursor, this is important. Wherever this cursor is, this is where you're gonna import anything that you bring into the session. So this plays a big part. So that's kind of like roughly where I want my beast to be at. So I'm gonna go ahead and import a beast. I'm gonna import GLB. And again, I'm gonna import a post beast, but you don't need to do that. You can import an animated beast that you already have from Mixamo or something, and you can place it in the scene. And then same way, you can play with the camera to get to the animation and stuff like that. But let me see. Let's go to one of the demo ones from the hub. I don't know which one this is, but give me 1 second. It's loading up. All right, cool. So he's way too big for the scene that I have. So instead of making the scene way bigger, I'm just gonna press S and scale him down roughly to where let's leave it somewhere around there so we can actually make the figure out of what it is. All right, so now that I know that the beast, let's just say the beast is right there, the camera is roughly where I want it, but now I want more random objects to look like crazy. I want this to look, like abstract. I want it to look, for me, all right, so now, look, I'm gonna even copy his balaclava. I'm gonna shift D to duplicate it. And now I'm gonna scale the mask alone by itself. Let me do this, set origin to geometry. Okay, cool. And even with this, this is some cool stuff to have abstract in the scene. You can just have some of this stuff coming out of the dirt. You'll see what I'm trying to say. All right, so now instead of finding materials, you can find objects with Blender Kit. Any random thing works, anything. Let's find a bike. Let me see. Any free bike, let's see. They don't have any? Oh, look, so this is the tractor trailer that I used in the last one, in the sample one. Okay, a green bike. Let's bring this green bike in. It's gonna load in on your scene right here. Okay, so the green bike is in here, and then it's gonna separate it into its own category. You brought it in from Blender Kit, and it's easy to move around, scale, and all that stuff. You can click on the thing right here, and I'm gonna scale this down roughly to where it makes sense, because I already see how the beast size is. So roughly around there, that makes sense. Then now I'm just gonna move it. So to move it, it's the same exact thing like I'm moving any other object. You just press the letter G to freely move it around. And if you want to move it on the y-axis to bring it front or back, you do that. Or if you want to bring it to the sides, you press G for move and then X on the x-axis. And let's just leave this around there, roughly, some random stuff. Then what else can we bring in? You guys have any suggestions for what y'all want to see me bring into the scene? Anybody in the chat? Let me see. Before we add lights and all that stuff.
Put in ice cream truck.
Ice cream truck.
April said a plane.
All right, cool. Give me a second. Let's see what we find here. Let's see if they even have. And you don't only have to use Blender Kit. You can use Sketchfab. You can use anywhere where you can find. You can use anything like that to just bring random stuff in. I don't see an ice cream truck. Ice cream cone good enough? Let's bring an ice cream cone in again. Alright, hold on. Let me bring in this cone real quick. 1 second. And this computer that I'm using right now is complete dirt. So you guys will all have a better experience than what you're seeing right now. This is the last of this computer right now. Yeah, that'll look cool. I got you right now on that. Let me scale up this ice cream a little bit. You know what? I want this one to be over exaggerated. Let's see. All right, cool. I could do that. Give me a second. Let me move this over here for now. Let me move this out the way. Which one was it? A phone booth. That's a good idea. That'll look super dope. Let me see. The way that I got this idea, Ironwood, artist name that Lyrical Lemonade made, and I was looking at this shot. The whole video was like one shot, and it was just the camera backtracking and the scenery moving the opposite way, and every few seconds a new object like just found its way into the screen, and I was trying to figure that out. So that's where I came up like with this thing. Let's see a phone booth. This is gonna be cool. They don't have a red one. A street light. That'll be dope too, bro. All right, telephone booth. Let me move this out the way. This one we can make it a little. Yeah. Let's rotate it on the Z a little so it can have. Let's just put this over here. Street lights. Let me see. Yo, perfect. These are gonna kill it, bro. Yeah, creativity is better than mine. Yeah, this is gonna kill it. This light, bro. A palm tree. Oh boy. Yo, I'm gonna have to reach out to y'all when I'm doing my own little things, you heard? Let's leave this like somewhere around here. Why not? A palm tree, bro. This is gonna be dope. Shit. Oh, I like the shape of this one. That's a Brawley. That's the Avatar tree. Alright, let's see. Damn, that tree is Brawley, bro. That's just taking a minute to load the texture. Oh, there you go. Let's get this down. You know what? I kind of like that it's that big. Let me see. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's make. What else was it? A newsstand. All right.
I gotta look for it. I got my T-pose.
I don't see like a newsstand though.
Oh,
we need that.
The basura.
All right, let's put a wet floor sign right here, and then that's it. If you do an animation to it, it plays off nicely with those like different size with the size perspectives. Like it looks dope if you do like an animation. All right, but look, so now let's do this. Cool. So let's say this is, I like this. This is cool. Now, there's no like surrounding scenery to this. And you can definitely like load in HDRIs and it'll give you a complete background to this, but I personally feel like it's not the same look that I want to achieve all the time. And sometimes it's not what I'm looking for. So I do this now. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but this works for me a lot of the time. So look, I'm going to create a new mesh, holding shift and pressing A. And then I'm going to select cube. This cube, I'm going to use it as my room. This is going to be like my photo studio. So I'm going to make this super big to the point where it embodies the camera, the scene, everything else. I want everything else to still be visible in this. So, okay, boom, somewhere around there. So now you can see, like, just because it's in a box, you can already see certain shadows casting that would not naturally cast on HDRI or on a image plane or things like that. So I don't know if it's correct or not, but I like using this box for just creating it like a photo studio kind of. And then towards the ending, I'll show you something that I do to the box to make it disappear, but then it still holds the lights and everything with it in the box. All right, so let me see. So then lights, we're gonna need a few lights. And so the main light is super bright. I don't want that main light to be that bright. It gives it like a daytime look or whatever. So I want to lower the brightness of that light real fast. I'm gonna select the light and go to the options of that light. The power is at 1000. Let's bring this down to like maybe 500. Let me see. Okay, that's cool. Now I'm gonna create a new light. I'm gonna hold shift and press A again, and I'm gonna go to light. And I'm gonna add a point. All right, cool. So it gives me this. Now I'm gonna press G to move it, and then Z on the Z axis. So I want to bring it up, and I can kind of see like the spot that light is giving me is reflecting down. So let me get this out of the view, kind of. I don't want the light to be, but then I want it to be strong enough to reflect. So now I'm going to keep going up on the power until I see that light touching okay, I see a sun kissing the scene right now. So now if I change this color, I'm going to change this to, let's say, a blue. Let's add a blue hue to that one. Let's leave that like that. And then I'm gonna duplicate this light and move it somewhere else. Let's put it over here somewhere. Move it across the Y. And now this light, I wanna make it a opposite color. So let's go with like a pinkish or, let me see. Even this little orangey glow is cool. The pinkish glow is cool. Let's go with pink. You can add as many lights as you want. You can add like to you. Then you can rotate those points. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. All right, cool. Now let me do this real fast. Let me do the thing for this box right here that I was trying. This is I don't even know how I learned it, but I'm gonna show you guys how I do it, and then. All right, so I'm gonna select the box. That's like the outside box, the room box. Now on this, I want to add new nodes. So on this one, create a new. I'm gonna delete this principled BD that it gives me. I'm gonna leave this material output. I'm gonna hold shift and press A to add, and I'm gonna search for the principled volume. So I'm gonna type in volume. Oh, give me 1 second. Search. I want to type in volume. So this one, principled volume. And then I want to attach this to the volume on the material output. All right, cool. So now you already see like the box in the back is gone. Now we can start like playing. Hold on, give me a second. Sorry. All right, the density is super heavy on this. So look, so I'm going to lower the density 0.1 instead of 1. And you're going to start seeing differences now. Like now with the density and the anisotropy, this word right here, excuse me, you can start manipulating the power of the lights that are up. Like let's say this is 0.1, I want to put it up to 0.7 right now. And you can see that the lights are a little more like on the neon side, like they're reflecting a little more on the, like it's giving more ambience to the lights. So the emission color, you can change this. You can change it. I'm gonna leave it on black. Density. Let's bring this up. Let me see how it looks. Green. It's too dark. 0.1. Let's do 0.05. You know what? Let's do 0.1. I kind of like the darkness, seriousness. 0.1. All right, and then the lighting. Let's see. I want it bright. I want this light to something like this is cool. And then, all right, so this right now, as is right now, this makes a nice render. Like, depending if you want to render it on Eevee or Cycles, or depending, like, let me see. Let's see how it looks on Eevee. Oh, this is on Eevee. This is decent for Eevee. I did not know that. So now, if you're rendering on Eevee, you want to make sure that you tap into all of these little things that I'm going to click on now, because this will definitely up the game right now. On the right side, on the render properties, you click on ambient occlusion, on bloom for the lights. On depth of field, you're definitely going to want depth of field, but I'm going to control that from the camera. I'm not going to do that there. Then screen space reflections. I don't use this. I know a lot of people do. Motion blur, if you're using if you're doing an animation, motion blur is gonna like change the game. Like if you don't have motion blur, it looks, like it looks like computer made. With motion blur and the correct settings, you won't be able to tell like what's real or not. And Eevee is super good because it renders way faster than Cycles. So if you just want to get like an overall look to see what's happening, and then you might want to leave it overnight, send it to a blender, like a render farm, then that's on you. But Eevee is a good overall. But then look, if I switch this over to Cycles, let's see, hold on. If I switch this over to Cycles, it's gonna give you a completely different look. It's gonna look like, let's see. Give it a second to load up. The file? All right, I think I'm gonna render this in Cycles. Reflecting off of this right now. Let me see. Let's try rendering it. It's probably not gonna take that long. Let's see. It's a dangerous game. Yeah, man. Let's see. It's probably gonna take, let's see. If there's any more than 4 minutes, I'll cancel. 7 minutes. Yeah, let me cancel. I'll work on Eevee for now. All right, let's bring it back. So on Eevee and Cycles, the one big difference is the sand also, because some textures that you pick up from BlenderKit, they might render good on Eevee and not good on Cycles, and some are made to render better on Cycles and not on Eevee. So you got to kind of like play with that to kind of see. Shade smooth. Okay, now let me save it for red's sake. Save as. 8:30 tutorial. All right, cool. That's 30 tutorial. Yo, it makes a cool picture, but these kind of scenes, like, they make super dope animations. Like, let's say if you have like a song that you want to let out, you can literally like do one of these animations, and like you can, for example, let me do it right now. For example, look. For example, if all right, let's start it off. This is the ending, so let me do this. Let me set up. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so this is the camera view. The first keyframe, I'm gonna lock it in. So I don't know if you guys know how to like mess with stuff like this, but over here, if you this little orange box, the object properties, when you're animating, if you make sure that you're paying attention to where the keyframe is that you're editing, you can literally like control anything in the scene, anything at all. Let me go to the camera. All right, cool. So it has the camera selected. And what I'm doing now is that you see these little locks right now. Since I want this in that position, I'm gonna go ahead and select all of these right here because I want to lock it in place. So this is set. Now you see that it transitioned over here to the bottom left on the keyframes. So that's telling the system that the camera belongs there on that frame. But now what happens if, let's say I wanted a 4-second clip of this at 60 frames per second. That's 60, 120, 180, then 240. So I'm gonna go to 240 and I'm gonna take this camera and I'm gonna press G, the same thing that we do to move any other object. And on the Y axis, I'm just gonna move it. I'm gonna move it all the way in to where the character is like positioned. Let me see, I'm gonna go, no, that's too far, buddy. All right, let's say somewhere around here and then move it down on the Z a little. So let's just say roughly around here. All right, cool. I'm gonna place this here and I'm gonna lock it in over and boom. So this would be like the animation. And then you can drag this as long as you need. You can extend this plane as long as you need, add in as many objects as you need, and then you can still have that the animation for it. Like, hold on, let me lower the. So you see it's like my computer's super slow right now, but as the frames pick up, you'll start seeing like. I got you right now, Panda. All right, so you can kind of see like more so the gist of what the camera's doing. Like, go all the way. I got you, gang. So hold on, let me move this. We don't need to edit too much. Let's just move this over here, switch it for this one. This all the way in the first. Put these towards the ending. 240. Yep, so that'll be the ending shot right there. It'll start from the character here. So this is gonna make a big difference. Depth of field is really a big thing. So right now we can see everything exactly the same: the sand, the buildings, the grass, the little tree, the light. Everything looks exactly the same as far as like there's no depth to the image. So now on the camera itself, it has this thing right here called depth of field. If you click it, it's gonna get a little blurry at first, but it's because you're not telling it what to focus on. You can do a few things. Look, you can click on this dropper tool and literally select the object that you want the camera to focus on. And now you can see that the object is focused in, but the trees back here got a little blurry. And the more like back you go, more things start getting blurry. And now you can control how much things get blurry with the f-stop. So now I have the monkey balaclava as the target for the depth of field. But with the f-stop, if you see me playing with this now, everything else gets super blurry. If I go super down or if I go super up, it gets super sharp. Everything around it. So I want this to have a crazy effect. So I'm gonna want it to have this blur. I want it to be blurry. Let me bring it down to maybe like 0.8, 0.7. Let's see. A little less. Yeah, I like it like this, 0.5. So let me see, can I still see the character? All right, cool. So now when it animates, the monkey he's the one that's being focused on, but everything around it is still happening. So now the animation, look, hold on, sorry. Let me make it end at 240. I'm gonna make it end at 240 because I only have 240 frames worth of work on the so. All right, so from beginning, look, it's gonna render. It's gonna show slowly because the computer is straight cheeks. But here we go. Look, so it will look something like this. And remember, if your beast was animated, camera is doing its own thing. And then all of these objects that you put in earlier, they're gonna start coming into the frame and into play. And like that's what I found cool about the video from Yi. And then that's why I came up with the concept to this. No, at all. Those are only like the like if I turn off the what is this called? I'm sorry, hold on. Stop it. I forgot what this is. The overlays. If I turn off the overlays right here on this little box, none of that stuff is gonna show. And then remember, I'm showing you this in material preview. It's not gonna look like this at the end either. It's gonna look like this, like the lightings that you added. You know what I'm trying to say? Let's add a few more lights for Panda. Hold up. Yeah, no, I deleted them. Let's see. Which light is it? It's probably point. Computer's acting up already. Let me see. Okay, here we go. Over here. I couldn't see what I was clicking on, so. All right, let me take this off so I can see. All right, cool. Let's duplicate this light. Move it across over here somewhere and across the Y so that we can get like more lighting somewhere else. Let me see. Maybe we want some of that lighting on top of this ice cream over here in the back of it. Let's see. I like making the lights. Everybody can do different to where the light itself is not visible, just the reflections of the light. So for example, like in this case, I would bring the light somewhere around here and then lower it to the point where it's like behind the ice cream cone so that the light itself is not something that needs to be showing, kind of, if that makes sense. It's more so just like the ambience of. Let me see. Yeah, that's cool. Something like that is nice. This is really gonna come down to purple, pink, and cyan. But now it's clean cut. Let's see. Hold on. Let me add a little turquoise color. Which one was that? Okay. Let's duplicate this one. This will be the last light in the scene for now. I'm gonna bring this one up a little bit more to the front. Bring this one over here. Reflect anything from over there. And then this one will make it like that little nice turquoise cyan color. This one I actually want to rotate so that it's not pointing at the same thing as the other ones. Let's see a different angle. That's cool. Now take off these overlays and see. Yeah, so it would look something like this at the end. Let me render this image. Let's see what comes out. You know what? The computer's acting up. Let me save it. I'm scared now, Red. I don't think so. All right, cool. Let me render this image and let's see what we got. And like I said, I'm not gonna do it now because that I have, but if you render the animation to the same exact thing that I just did, it's probably gonna take maybe like 10 to 15 minutes. On my computer, it would take me maybe like 20, 30 minutes, but it shouldn't be too heavy on your computer if you're rendering on Eevee. So a lot of people don't render in Eevee because you can't. It's said that you can't achieve the same quality as Cycles and stuff like that, but you can definitely manipulate it, like using the correct textures, using a lot of lighting, playing around with like the depth of field and motion blur and stuff like that. Like you can definitely achieve a nice finished look from Eevee, 100%. Panda say Eevee is my boo. Let's see, this might take a second. It's not gonna show me how long it's gonna take because it's an Eevee render, but it should be done in a minute. Does anybody have any questions that I could like answer? Yo, Stone by Nature. If you render in Cycles, it's gonna take long, but I'm gonna be honest. If you have a scene that you already rendered in Eevee and you want to see like how that would look at the end, I really do recommend rendering in Cycles. And then again, it's also depending what it's for. This is the image that we just rendered right now. Let's see, like. So this is the image that we just rendered right now. So if you had an animated beast, this is a dope clip right here. Like if the camera was moving and your beast, like let's say even idle, breathing around, or anything, you can add a nice little soundtrack to the back and your character walking or whatever. And this is a cool little scenery for your for the beast to have, where it's just not in the photo studio backdrop that we always use. Are there settings to make Cycles faster? Yes, 100%. Nature. There's a lot of things like fixing up like the noise threshold on the denoise and like things like that. I'm actually gonna send you a video that I saw that I came across on YouTube. It's like a 2-3 minute video, but that one video helped me out a lot. You're probably having that issue because you're moving around FBXs and not GLBs. And the FBX, if it has an animation tied to it and you render the image on frame, let's say 53, it's gonna render that. It's not gonna render how it looks on image on frame 1, etc. Red, but as far as like the tutorial, I think that if nobody has any questions, this is a breakdown and there's some to it. You heard again? Nah, for sure. What I'll do is that for the next one, instead of using like the Blender kit, I'll see if we can get into like hard surface modeling, like building or two and stuff like that, little things. Yeah, so like right now, it's on frame 161 right now as we speak. If I wanted this frame 240 from back here, or let's say one that's closer, let's say this one right here. If I wanted this one, I would click on frame 38 right here where I'm at right now. I click on it, and when I go to render image, it's gonna render that frame right now. But that's because, let me explain this real quick. It's because I have a posed beast in there. So there's no animation on the beast. If there was an animation on the beast, you need to pick the keyframe where that beast is posed, where you want the picture from. You know what I'm trying to say? So if the pose is on keyframe 138, you need to have keyframe 138 selected and then press render. Mate, what I'll do is that after this, let's tap in and just show me what you're saying, because I'll be able to help you if I can see on the screen. The FBX is the T-pose ones. The ones that you can animate, those are the FBX files. On April, I got that cube by holding shift and pressing A, and then just adding a mesh cube into the scene, and then just making it bigger, and then adding the geometry nodes that I added. It'll make it like this to where it's like a hazy effect as opposed to just like a solid block in the back of your scene. So if you wanted that specific frame, then now I rendered that frame and then we got the image now. Not Red, you're good, gang. Unless anybody has next time I'll try my best to have a little I'm gonna build up to it. I'm gonna have a few things that I can show you guys how to model within the hour so that we can have some fun together. But other than that, Red, let's get it. That's it. That's the end of it. Until next time.
This was dope.